Hey, everybody. Good day. I'm just coming to you live today because we know a little bit more now about what podcasts on YouTube are like. We still don't know everything. YouTube has been kind of, I don't want to say secretive, but they've not announced a lot. They said that they're going to announce stuff and they don't announce it. So last time I brought to you on February 23rd that podcasts are coming to YouTube, according to Kai Chuck, the YouTube's guy. So what we know now is podcasts are available to all creators to kind of set their channel up as a podcast channel, and I'll talk about that in a few minutes here. But what we do know is it's not going to be necessarily podcast to YouTube proper. Yes, you can have your video on YouTube proper, but what they're really talking about is YouTube Music. So if you're not aware, YouTube has a music app that they do YouTube Music, and you can kind of go in and out between videos and audio for music. It's going to be the same thing for YouTube podcasts. They're going to be actually coming on to the music app, and as far as we know, you should be able to switch back and forth between the video and the audio. So you can background your app and put it in your pocket and watch or listen as you're driving. But then if you want to see the video, you can pull your phone out and you can switch over to that. So let's get into exactly how, as a creator, we go ahead and do this. So let's look at my YouTube studio right here. So you'll now see there's a YouTube podcast tab right here. It's called Podcast. And if I click in that, what's going to happen is it'll take me to a podcast that I've already created. But essentially, podcasts on YouTube are just going to be playlists. And so anytime you've had a playlist before, so I had, a podcast set up for Ecamm, or not a podcast, a playlist set up for Ecamm Live. But then what I did is I created a new one, and you can go ahead and it looks like you should be able to create more podcasts in here. But I went ahead and created one. Actually, what you can do is you can take a playlist and should be able to create that. Oops, I did that wrong. Sorry. Bear with me here real quick. I need to actually edit it. What you can do is actually click the three buttons there and then set as podcast, and it'll create it in a podcast here. It's going to ask you a few different things. It's going to ask you what the name is, the title, and I would name it the same thing exactly that your podcast is named. So if your podcast is named Podcast Answers, like mine is, we're going to go ahead and put Podcast Answers as the title here. Description, I would use the same exact description that you're using for Apple Podcasts, for your regular RSS-based feed. And then it's going to ask you for a thumbnail, and it wants it to be a square thumbnail. Just like your cover art is for your regular podcast, this is going to be the same thing. You want to create a square cover thumbnail for that, so that way they can use that as your cover art in there. So one thing that we do know, though, is lots of people have been saying, is this going to be RSS based? Or, are they going to give us an RSS feed for our videos? As far as we know now, the answer is no. So if you think of this as an actual podcast, it's not going to be something that you get an RSS feed that you can submit to all of the other directories. It's going to be something that we can take, and they're going to use it internally. So you can't take this and submit this video feed to, let's say, Spotify or Apple Podcasts or things like that. This is just specifically for YouTube and for YouTube's video only. So that's one of the main questions that I've heard is, hey, is this going to be traditional RSS based thing? No. However, they do say that in the future that they can ingest RSS feeds so that they can get new episodes and things like that. How that's going to work, I don't know, because right now what you're doing is you're uploading videos to YouTube to play. And you can do that. Obviously, you can't just straight upload an MP3 because YouTube doesn't take MP3s, at least at this point. But what you can do is use something like Headliner, or even just something as real simple as QuickTime on your Mac, and save that as a video file and then upload that to YouTube. I don't like doing that. I don't like just having a straight video that just has a cover art on it. You can. Lots of people do. But I'm of the opinion that if you're going to upload video, actually make it something that someone's going to sit and watch on video. But again, with this being something where you're going to be taking it and they're going to be putting it in the music app, and people are going to be putting it in their pockets. It may not be as important to have video that actually has live video on it. So that's what we know right now about YouTube and YouTube's podcasting thing. It's great. I think YouTube is a great search engine as far as finding content. I think that obviously lots of people watch things on YouTube. When I think of a podcast, though, I think of something I'm listening to so I can put it in my pocket. That's debatable. Lots of people are saying, hey, any show is a podcast. That's your, whatever opinion you have there, whatever. But what we do know is that YouTube is starting to take podcasting seriously. They've added a podcast tab in all of the podcast creator studio, all in the YouTube Studio webpage now, so you can go in and add your podcast as a podcast. So that's what we know, guys. When I know more, I will come here and let you know more. But for now, go ahead and keep podcasting, and I'll see you next time.